Listeners who donate monthly to WNYC. Folks like
Joan in Weehawken, New Jersey.
Mark in Jackson Heights, New York.
Michelle in Monroe, Connecticut.
From all of us at WNYC, thank you. Not a sustainer yet? Join today. Call 888-376-WNYC or visit WNYC.org and click donate.
Fight, flight, or freeze. These are typical unconscious human survival strategies in the face of traumatic events. But what about fawning? It's the automatic please and appease self-preservation strategy that you might deploy more often than you realize.
And we do this out of fear.
The psychology behind fawning, that's on the next On Point. Weeknights at 8 on WNYC.
It is 6:52. Marketplace Morning Report is next. And then next hour on Morning Edition, members of the New York City Council will grill health officials later today for the first time since a deadly Legionnaire's outbreak in Harlem this summer. Some details on how the outbreak began are still scarce. We'll have that for you in about 15 minutes from NPR and WNYC. .71 and sunny right now, sunny and 82 for a high today. Clear and mostly clear tonight and cool. Then this weekend, the last one of summer. High temperatures in the low 70s with sunshine, and then at night, overnight lows in the 50s. So it's going to feel like fall, especially at night. We're at 6:53. You're listening to Morning Edition on WNYC in New York.
Is meager hiring in America here to stay?
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance. Customers can simplify their insurance needs and protect what's important by bundling home and auto. Learn more about bundling at Progressive.com. And by Avalara, providing cloud-based solutions for businesses to manage property tax compliance. Learn more at avalara.com/property-tax.
I'm David Brancaccio in Los Angeles. First, whether it's economic uncertainty or the cost of home loans that never seem to come down much, but the fact is a lot of people decided late this summer was not the time to put their house up for sale. Zillow finds that new listings fell sharply in August, 7% fewer new listings compared to July, and homes are staying on the market longer. Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman now takes a look at prospects for autumn.
There's usually a slowdown in listings in the fall. Fewer people want to move with kids in school and the weather turning. But this year the trend started early, says Chen Zhao at Redfin.
Inventory is up from a year ago, but the last few months it's been falling.
The supply of new homes has been anemic as well, says Robert Dietz at the National Association of Home Builders.
Single-family construction is going to be down this year. You still have rising construction costs, and then there's uncertainty among home buyers.
About tariffs, inflation, and the worsening job market. Buyers are getting some good news, says Chen Zhao.
Home prices are appreciating slower than inflation or wage growth. There is slowly more affordability.
Mortgage rates have also come down, but Zhao says a lot of would-be buyers are sitting on the sidelines.
You don't want to catch a falling knife. So they're waiting for prices to come down more. They're waiting for rates to come down more. And there's no guarantee that either of those things will happen.
Sellers, meanwhile, are also holding back.
Because they can't get the prices they want, they're just saying, well, I'm just going to not sell them.
A difficult market to navigate on both sides of the buy-sell equation. I'm Mitchell Hartman for Marketplace.
The low for average 30-year fixed-rate mortgages was on Tuesday of this week. Mortgage News Daily's number has been going up as the week wears on. Dow futures are down slightly now. S&P and NASDAQ futures are up by less than 0.1%, so no big moves there on a Friday morning.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Yubico, makers of the YubiKey. YubiKey helps protect important digital applications and services. YubiKey, still undefeated, the original passkey. More at yubico.com. And by Mercury. Mercury brings together banking, credit cards, invoicing, and more to help entrepreneurs manage their finances. Learn more at mercury.com. and by the United States Postal Service, offering stamps for purchase at over 40,000 supermarkets and drugstores and at wholesale clubs Costco, Walmart, Sam's Club, and BJ's.
I once saw a machine in the bowels of the London School of Economics using valves, pipes, and water gauges that attempted to simulate basic economics, feed in lower interest rates from this central bank tank over here, and up goes this water column over there, representing hiring and possibly raising a needle for inflation. But what if we've entered an era where the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates might not boost the job market much? It's about strict immigration policy and the effect on growth. Harvard economist Jason Furman has been thinking about these trade-offs. Furman was chair of the Council of Economic Advisors under President Obama. Jason, welcome.
Good to be with you.
You are concerned there's something going on that could do two things: get us stuck in slow job growth month after month, and at the same time make it so that the Fed lowering interest rates won't really help. Explain what your concern is.
Yeah. So if you look, in 2023, we were creating about 200,000 jobs per month. In 2024, it was about 100,000 jobs per month. And this year, it's been about 50,000 jobs per month. But even though we've had this big slowdown in job growth, the unemployment rate is only rising very, very gradually. So what that tells me is that the biggest change that's going on, the biggest driver of the slowdown in job growth, is you just don't need as many jobs per month as you used to. And the reason for that is we just have a lot fewer immigrants coming into the country.
So immigration policy may be at play, and if that's here to stay for the coming few years at least, you think that will weigh down job creation month after month?
With an aging population where people are retiring, where the birth rate is not sufficient for a growing population, were it not for an inflow of immigrants, we would probably have zero or even negative job growth. With that, we'd have slower economic growth. We'd have bigger fiscal problems, at least at the federal level. And we've avoided all of that historically by having a large stream of immigrants who work at a high rate as well.
If the number of workers isn't rising reasonably quickly, you don't have enough people paying taxes to pay for our way of life.
Yeah, were it not for immigrants, it would be very few workers supporting each Social Security beneficiary, and we'd have to either have much higher taxes than we have, we'd need to cut Social Security benefits, or we'd need to borrow even more.
Well, that would be tragically ironic if the vivid calls from President Trump for the central bank to lower interest rates just wouldn't work to help boost the job market because of the dynamic you describe.
Yeah. And to be clear, there's a lot of labor supply. There's a little bit of labor demand too. So I was fine with the Fed cutting rates by 25 basis points. It's possible they'll need to cut even more. But the biggest reason jobs have slowed down is something that no interest rate change can affect.
So if you're right, there will be those who would call for an easing of the immigration restrictions. Who's going to do that? You're going to be the person to call President Trump and say, ease off the war on immigration?
It is totally reasonable to say we're going to have a secure border. Joe Biden got around to that in 2024, which is why a lot of this job slowdown actually started in 2024. So I don't want, tons and tons of people who aren't authorized to work in the United States to work. But I'd also like us to admit that we do need workers from abroad. Absent that, we'd have huge economic challenges in this country. So legally allow more people in, give a path to citizenship for people who are here, and respect and tighten that border.
Jason Furman, economics professor at Harvard University. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And in Los Angeles, I'm David Brancaccio. It's the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.